Everyone, welcome to episode 37 of the SplitScreen Gaming Podcast, that occasionally weekly podcast where three lifelong friends correspond about video games from the comfort of each other's homes. I'm Holden DePardo, and I'm with...
Chad Michael Ennis.
Thanks, Chad. We have a huge episode this week. We're going to be doing some new stuff on top of the normal episode we usually do.
Oh, new stuff, huh?
Very new stuff. It's going to be very, very cool.
Nude stuff.
Then we have this interesting story that's, I don't know, it's kind of a niche. Like, not many people are talking about it, about Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I just thought we'd, let people know what's really happening. Yeah. Because no one else is talking about it.
There's no press about this game, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. No, I think we just want to have an honest discussion about it and kind of be fair to all sides and just...
I was just going to lie the whole time.
Damn it, Chad.
I'm being paid
by EA. Don't say
EA.
that out loud. No, I do want to, when we get to it, I do want to kind of point out points where we should be fair to EA. But overall, it's a shit show in their direction. So
yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to
that. It'll be some good stuff. But like we start off every episode, Chad, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, Holden. This week
I'm just so thoughtful.
Yeah, I played and beat the Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds expansion.
How was that? Did it live up to the original game?
Oh man, I for the last however many months it's been out, 8, 10, 100,000 months. I've been this game is amazing. It's actually, beginning of February, end of February,
end of February. Yeah, it actually came out when we first started recording the podcast.
You're right, that's true.
Yeah.
February
so it is as old as this podcast is.
It's great. It reminded me exactly everything about that game that is so freaking amazing, from the graphics to the voice acting to the side stories. I found myself within all of these little tiny missions where there are super interesting characters who are doing those little side quests with you. I found myself also being like, hold on. I want to get to your shit, but also I know there's another voice diary around here about this other couple that's making a band in 2070 or 2040 whatever America, and I want to get to the end of their story because things that I'm only picking up through diaries and things like that. Mm-hmm. The game is just so fucking good at storytelling.
So are you? I've heard the game is more difficult this time around.
Oh man,
the difficulty is that I already found it to be difficult when I played it.
I don't know if I would call it difficult, but different.
Okay.
What I love about Horizon Zero Dawn is that you don't get stronger. You just
learn how to deal with the obstacles, basically.
Exactly, yeah. So you just get more skilled. And of course, jumping. It took me about an hour after I jumped in before I felt comfortable again. I was like, oh fuck, how do I take down that enemy again? Which of these weapons do I find was most effective? And because I had all these strategies, depending on what you're fighting, you have a different strategy for what you're going to take down.
I like that when your knowledge is your progress in the game.
Yeah.
It's a really cool element to have in gameplay.
So it took me a while to get back on the horse there. But they also throw another wrench into it because by the end of the game, you've unlocked a couple of things, like a couple of weapons that can, like corruption, that can turn enemies against each other or override certain enemies so that they fight for you. And there's a new story element to this part that makes those two basically not work for most of the enemies in the Frozen Wilds. So suddenly you're like, all of these things that I used to do for these crowds of enemies, I'm like, shit, I gotta come up with something completely different. A lot of the really big enemies in the original game had some kind of big weapon that you could shoot an arrow that would blow it off of them, and then you could pick up that weapon and use it against them. And that was my strategy for the Thunderjaws and for the Stalkers and things like that. But in this one, all of the new really tough enemies don't have anything you can do that with, so you gotta
your whole strategy is ruined.
I know, right? So it makes you the game that you thought you were so familiar with, it makes you completely rethink how you're gonna fight everything for this whole last chapter.
That's refreshing.
Yeah.
So it's really not more of the same. It sounds like they really made it a different experience.
Yeah, and it ramps up that difficulty because I was level 50 going into it, and they suggest being level 30, and right off the bat I was getting my ass handed to me. I was like, what is going on? But then you just learn the monsters and.
But really, you, Chad. You overcome all obstacles.
I know. Nevertheless, I persisted. I am just so good. But no, that game is fantastic, and it came out at a perfect time to remind everybody, hey, remember this game for Game of the Year? And it's amazing. So if you haven't played it yet, if you liked Horizon Zero Dawn, go get Frozen Wilds. It's only $15 or
It's $20, but it's on sale right now.
Yeah, we'll get to some deals. Oh, yes. So I played that, and I beat Metroid Prime as well. Not Metroid Prime. I've called it
Super
Metroid
Metroid
so many times. Super Metroid as well. But, of course, we'll have our discussion about that next week.
Yes. I'm totally taking my time with that game.
Yeah.
Like you said, so I think you texted me and you're like, I beat the game, and it said 5 hours. It was really 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm probably like at 12 or 15 hours into the game.
Yeah.
And I'm not done with it because I'm going through everything. But we'll talk about all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it, though, because it's really fantastic. It makes you want to play Metroid Prime again.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
But then I'd have to get a Wii or GameCube. Gross. And then, of course, just grinding away some more moons.
If you get a
Mario.
Wii U, which is very tempting.
No.
You can get
are you
Metroid
kidding
Prime
me?
trilogy.
Have you seen the prices of Wii U still?
They're so expensive.
There was a deal.
For what it should be.
There's a deal that popped the other day. It's like $179 refurbished Wii U on blah blah blah, and that's a deal apparently. Stupid.
Yeah, it's like about $100 less than you can get a Switch for.
Yeah.
Actually, it's exactly $100 less than a used Switch would be.
You're a used Switch.
No, I am powerful and amazing.
I am Africa, just like Bono. Yeah, so I got some more moons in Mario, which, heads up everybody, go to your podcast service of choice, and right after this one, you'll see a little podcast spoiler chat about Mario Odyssey.
Yes, we're recording that.
Which is weird that we're doing
right
a
after
spoiler chat for a Mario game, but I love it.
Yeah, it's weird. People are like crazy about Nintendo spoilers. Like Zelda, I kind of get it because you're exploring this world, but like Mario's like, yeah, there's this part where you jump on some platforms.
But
and it's hard.
Man, this game is just full of surprises, and
it is full of surprises,
and joy, and glee.
But this isn't a spoiler chat, Chad.
You're right.
We do not talk about Mario here anymore,
and we do not argue on this podcast. Holden, tell me what you've been playing.
I played a ton
of Animal Crossing.
I did do that. We will talk about that. I've been playing it longer than that, but we will get to that.
Yeah.
So. I was just going through my PlayStation, and I'm like, I just want to play something familiar. I don't know why I had this nostalgia. I want to play something familiar. Pulled out The Last of Us and just played through the entire campaign. And I played the Left Behind DLC for the first time.
Yeah, you did.
And I really remember the game being awesome. I just forgot how amazing it is. Even having like knowledge of what was going to be coming up, I was still in suspense and still was kind of like, no, like I don't want to do that, or like it's such a good game. And it got me so excited for Last of Us Part 2. I get more amped for that. Realizing that it's been, as of next year, it'll be 2 years since Uncharted 4.
Oh, shit. Is that real?
That's real, and they usually do every other years when they release games. I don't count Lost Legacy because it's not really a full game.
You're not really a full game.
So maybe Last of Us 2 is coming sooner than
we
think. I'm crossing my fingers, I hope.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's coming tomorrow. I can't wait. But I was playing that, and I'm like, you know what? I haven't played Uncharted Lost Legacy yet. So I played Uncharted Lost Legacy. I did.
Did you play it all the way?
All the way.
What do you think?
It was awesome. That was so good.
It's great.
Everyone was saying like, oh, it's really kind of more the same. I'm like, I didn't get that vibe. Like, yeah, the gameplay is kind of the same thing, but every Uncharted game has been roughly the same thing. But the characters is what made this so much different.
Yeah. It's the relationship between Chloe and Nadine.
Absolutely. And I also, because people who listen to the podcast know, or maybe I haven't talked about this, I liked Uncharted 4. Really didn't care for Uncharted 1 through 3 that much.
You didn't play 3.
They weren't bad games.
You didn't play 3. You can't say that.
No, I played 3.
No, you didn't.
I went back and played 3.
No, you didn't. I've decided you haven't. We don't fight on this podcast.
Okay, I'm just going to agree with you so we're not fighting this podcast. I didn't play 3, but I still have an opinion on it, which I didn't like that much. So, but Uncharted 4 I liked a lot. I can't remember where I was going with this because you totally just sidetracked me, Chad. Thank you so much. We don't fight in this podcast. Oh yeah, so I was always kind of like, yeah, like I don't know if I would really want like another Uncharted game, but now I'm thinking, okay, I really want to see what they can do with Uncharted with these different characters because it was that enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like it stayed true to the heart of what Uncharted was for me.
Yep.
At least for the fourth game. And that's what I was saying. Chloe. I didn't like Chloe in the second game.
Oh, really?
I didn't really care for her that much.
I just had the hots for Chloe.
And this game, they added so much more character to her, and I became much more interested in who she was. With like her relationship with her dad, and like how she's kind of brought up this way. I loved how the small little detail. She's never been to America because it's not old enough. Like, why would you go to America? There's nowhere for her to like excavate ruins and stuff. So it was really solid. Anyone who hasn't played that, it is absolutely worth it. When you get to the deals, I think that's also half off this week.
It is.
Yeah, which is very much worthwhile for people. But let's talk about that Animal Crossing. This is kind of one of the news stories of the week, but Animal Crossing Pocket Camp was given a release date as of November 22nd, but it's November 21st we're recording this. How's it out already? It came out early.
Yeah, it came out early.
But I couldn't wait. So I made a new iTunes account I was Australian.
Oh
so
my gosh.
So I could download it. Well, because at first I wasn't going to, because I'm like, I don't want to put all this progress into Animal Crossing and then lose it when I bring it over to America.
Yeah.
But your account information syncs with your Nintendo account.
Oh, nice.
So I still have everything, even though I was using the Australian, and it's really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It is definitely a mobile version of Animal Crossing. Like, it doesn't have the same scope in terms of like you're in this town you're exploring. It's just these little tiny areas you can explore. And when I mean tiny, I mean it takes you 15 seconds to explore each one. Not a joke. Like, they're really, really small.
Can you build a 2-story campsite?
You can build a campsite, and you can have a camper that you can make 2 stories.
Okay.
So there are some things I really like about it. There are some things that I'm not as crazy about, but it is also hands down the most full-fledged Nintendo port of one of their games.
Oh, really? More so than Fire Emblem?
I would say, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because there's things that this does better than previous Animal Crossing games have done in the past. Animal Crossing games, people who don't know, are basically you're living in this town, you're building up your home, and you're getting to you build friendships with the animals who live in your town. But there was really no way to like track your progress of friendship or like kind of see like how good of friends you were with someone. Whereas this, you do requests for them and you kind of raise up your friendship level with that character. So you can just see like, oh, I'm better friends with them than I am with this other person. And then that also will build up your overall like friendship level.
Gotcha.
Which is cool, as you don't need to pay any sort of microtransactions to work on that element of the game. They handle microtransactions really, really well. They're only really used to speed up progress of like different things you're making, different amenities you're making for your campsite. They handle it well. I've never once, I've kind of been playing it for a few days, but I haven't felt compelled to buy anything. But I can see, I've already been in the situations where one would feel tempted to buy something.
Yeah.
So
does it just like say, hey, come back in 5 hours and this will be done, or you can spend a Leaf ticket and it's done now.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But it scales the Leaf tickets. So like I thought it'd be like, because I have something like 250 something Leaf tickets right now that just given to me. Like, they give you Leaf tickets all the time.
Okay.
And I thought, oh man, I'm gonna, if I just buy one Leaf ticket to speed this up, that's so worth it. I have 250 of these. But if it's like, oh, it's 8 hours to build this, you have to spend 90 Leaf tickets to speed this up. But if it's only like a few minutes left, then it's one Leaf ticket. So they scale it based on how much time there is. But again, I would just kind of said, okay, I have these 3 things being crafted right now. I'm just going to leave them and I'll do other stuff in the game. There's always something else for you to do, for like just doing little errands for your animal friends. It's really solid, but it's definitely is successful in what Nintendo has these mobile games for, which is, ooh, I want to do a full Animal Crossing experience. So I pulled out Animal Crossing with 3DS and kind of played with that for a little bit because I wanted to. So
you don't think this is going to
replace
like the Switch version of the Animal Crossing?
Absolutely not. No way. But again, the reason that makes this better than other Nintendo mobile ports, or not mobile ports, you know what I mean, like mobile version of one of their IP, is that I can see where this game will inspire the next one. Whereas like I didn't play Super Mario Run and say, oh man, I can't wait for them to do all this great stuff in the next 2D Mario game. Like, it was just a scaled down version of a 2D Mario game.
Yeah.
This is scaled down Animal Crossing and more.
Gotcha.
My only real complaint about it is that you can make your camper bigger, but you can't make your campsite bigger yet. Maybe I haven't seen that yet. But you can't make your campsite bigger, which has kind of been the point of Animal Crossing games, is whatever your homestead is, you can make that bigger over time. But you can't do that with the campsite, and it already feels really cramped. Like,
you want to reduce your footprint on nature.
By making your camper bigger and driving it around all over the place. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's an electric camper, and it hovers, so...
It doesn't hover, but thanks for your input, Chad.
Well, you bought the wrong camper. You need more leaf tickets.
So it's really solid. I recommend anyone play that. It is awesome. I love this though. I had to make that Australian Apple ID, and I had to make a new email address for it, so I just named the email address I want Animal Crossing iOS at gmail.com.
Nice.
So if you want to email me, I won't ever check that email address.
Oh, I will. I will.
You can send all like hateful emails to that, and I'll never see them and assume we're still friends. Because we don't argue in this podcast.
No, of course not. Even if we're enemies. So Holden, did you play anything else? You said you had played a lot of things, but that's only like 2 things that I heard.
No, I played Last of Us
Yep.
all the way through.
Yep.
Last of Us Left Behind, Lost Legacy, Animal Crossing.
Okay, that's like 2.5.
And then I actually did play Super Mario Run.
Oh, and Metroid.
And Metroid, yeah.
Super Metroid.
Yeah.
What a big change from last week.
Yeah, last week I was like, I got nothing, Chad. You talk for a while.
Yep. And this time I ate some cookies while you talked. And I'm feeling, man, I ate too many cookies.
I talked for too long. It's my fault.
I'm feeling sluggish. I'm feeling nauseous. There's a gallon of milk getting warm on the table in front of me.
Well, we have a lot of podcasts left to do here. So
we do. I guess I'll drink that whole gallon. Here we go.
Milk was a bad choice.
Bad choice. Hey, guys, I have one new thing to introduce to you. A new segment. I don't know. A segment, I guess. And a challenge to you. I pulled the trigger and got an Xbox. I got an Xbox One S.
I totally forgot about this. How
I know,
how did I forget?
I mean, it's in the show notes.
And that is an S,
Chad
not an
checks
X.
the Xbox checkbox.
It's an S, not an X, because
S is in
you know
Sam,
which ones to buy.
not X is in Sam. So yes, I got an Xbox One S, a bundle. We'll talk about it here in a second. But I got it. It's coming to the apartment, and I need your help. So if you are listening, tweet at SplitScreenGP with some recommendations of what I've missed on Xbox over the last, I guess it's been like 6 or 7 years since I've played, and what I should play. And we're going to make it a new segment called the Xbox Checkbox. And I'll go through these and I'm like, cool, somebody suggested this game. I'll check that off the list.
I like that.
So tweet that at SplitScreenGP or email us, splitscreengamingpodcast@gmail.com.
Hopefully it happens more frequently than Holden's backlog.
Oh, God, yeah. Holden's backlog is RIP.
No. I'm actually working on Majora's Mask, so...
Still? You've been playing that game since it came out.
I restarted it because I never played it.
Nice. I do want to let you guys know it comes with Battlefield 1. So I already have that. I'm just going to play the campaign. I'm not too much into the...
I'm surprised you got that. Were there no other bundles, or is that just the most appealing one?
Here's the thing. So Xbox Ones we'll get to in a second in the deals. They're on Black Friday deal for $189. Just the 500 gigabyte version itself. I was like, all right, I'll jump on that. Mostly because there's a girl I have a crush on who's begging me to play Cuphead. So gotta buy an Xbox and play Cuphead. Because I'm not going to buy a PC. Get out of here. Gross.
We just lost so many listeners. The PC Master Race is pissed.
Right, because they were so pleased with all of our PC coverage over the last 36 episodes.
That's what kind of podcast we are, Chad. Have you not been paying attention?
No. So there's a Battlefield 1 bundle from last year that obviously got discontinued because that game's not popular anymore. And there was some company on Amazon still selling it for $199, brand new in box. I was like, all right, I'll jump on that. I'll spend $10 extra, play a campaign that everybody loved, and get it early.
It's one of those scams where you just get the picture of it.
I know, right? So I've got that coming. There's a big old... Maybe we should just jump into these Black Friday deals.
Let's do it.
So, happy Thanksgiving, y'all. I hope you guys spend some time with some family or friends or enemies or hookers, whatever your Thanksgiving tradition is. Hopefully not all at the same time, unless you have like a family of hookers. Like if everyone in your family is a hooker, I want you to spend time with them. You don't have to have sex with them. That's your family. That's gross. Get out of here.
Do you think it's a popular time of the year for hookers? Is Thanksgiving? Like, I'm so upset I don't have a family. I need a hooker right now.
No, because everyone's eating so much food
that's right. They
you're
just
not in the
can't.
mood for that. They're just like, oh.
Or they don't have money for food, but they have money for a hooker.
I can't buy a Thanksgiving feast because I spent my money on a hooker. Oh man, that's gonna be a quote. So I wanted to just highlight a couple of video game related deals coming up. If you're listening to this, we're posting it Tuesday night, so Wednesday you'll have to hear it, and then Thanksgiving. And a lot of these deals are still.
You'll have to hear it on Wednesday. Any other day it will not be available.
Yes, it will.
You'll have to.
These are Black Friday deals, Holden. You can listen to it on Thanksgiving. Also, our Thanksgiving will wishes are not... Will wishes is what I just said. Well wishes are not... Shut up. Get out of here. Shut up.
Thanksgiving wishing well.
Oh, man. I just wanted to start out by just calling out a couple of things. Hardware-wise, PlayStation 4 1TB gaming console for $199. That's a slim version.
That's a good deal.
That's a good deal. And you can get that pretty much everywhere in the world on Black Friday. Some of these... some of the deals that I'm listing will go live on Friday. Some of them are already live. I think this is one that goes live on Friday. Xbox One S, as we just mentioned, $189 pretty much everywhere. If you shop at Target and you're like in store, in line, you get a $25 gift card too, which is cool. Controllers, $39 for a DualShock 4 and a bunch of different places. Amazon, GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart. If you're looking for a Pro. If you're in the market for a PlayStation 4 Pro,
if you're
1
a
terabyte
professional
gaming console,
PlayStation player,
$349 at GameStop and Amazon.
That's not bad.
Or if you're looking to go retro and you don't want to do backwards compatibility, but you just want to go backwards, Xbox 360 gaming console for free after mail-in rebate.
I heard about that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's very crazy.
That one's at GameStop.
Because no one will do the mail-in rebate. That's why. You have to mail in the rebate, everyone.
It's $60 for the console, and then you get a $60 mail-in rebate.
Even $60 for the console is honestly not bad.
I know, right?
It's kind of not, but that's pretty good.
And then
you're buying into a huge library of games. Controller.
So you can pretty much get a good console. One of the new consoles, like the Slim version or the S, for about $200. Good shit. Also, similar on PlayStation Plus, 1 year membership, $40. Xbox Live, I'm going to jump on that one. Those deals are $10 for a 3-month, which would make it around the same price. Amazon and GameStop. But here's a cool one. VR. If any of you guys are interested in jumping in on VR and you have a PlayStation VR, pretty much everywhere, the standalone bundle is $199.
Holy shit, really?
I know, right? That's
is
half
that
the
half
price.
Off?
That's half off what it launched at. Now it's $299 for that bundle.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's what a great time to jump in on that. Now that does not come with like Move controllers or a game.
Still though, you're still getting it for way cheaper than you would otherwise. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's good.
There is also pretty much every single VR bundle, PlayStation VR bundle is $100 off. And there are now a bunch of bundles. One that I wanted to highlight was the new Skyrim bundle. I would definitely suggest if you're getting VR, get something with the Move controllers in it. Just because that's going to be the best way to play a lot of these things. So the PlayStation VR Skyrim Move bundle comes with the Move controllers, Skyrim, PSVR, and a camera, $349. Normally $449. So that's some hardware shit. Jump on that. And most of this you can do from the convenience of your living room, which is nice. And then games. There's some... Holy crap. I'm so freaking excited for some of these games. I've already jumped on a couple of these. So many new games, like Assassin's Creed Origins is half off at $29 on a lot of the digital sites, like the Xbox Marketplace.
Yeah, I was surprised by how many new games are on discount. Huge discounts, too.
Assassin's Creed, Destiny 2, Evil Within 2, and Middle-earth, and Wolfenstein are all at least half off. Some places you can even find them for $25. That's fucking crazy. These games are like, some of them are only a couple weeks old. You can also get Call of Duty World War II for $40 at Amazon Best Buy. Doom is $15 at Amazon and Best Buy.
That's which version though?
That's the PS4, Xbox One. Yeah. Injustice 2, $14, Amazon and GameStop. Mass Effect Andromeda for $15. You know, apparently that game is not that bad if you're willing to suffer through a little bit of it, but
yeah, I have it. I'm going to play that at some point. I think for $15 it's worth.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have a lot of other things to play, so.
Yes, I do.
Resident Evil 7, especially if you're getting a PSVR, $20. Amazon, Best Buy. Fractured Butthole. South Park Fractured Butthole. What an endearing, disgusting, amazing game. $29. Amazon, Walmart. And of course, almost all of these deals, we're listing like the physical retailers, but also they're on the Xbox Marketplace and PSN, which is really cool. So you can just right now on both of those, actually, you can go and get these deals if you're a Plus subscriber or Gold, Games of Gold. There's not too much on the Switch side of things, just because I guess the system's so new, and but Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Explorer Edition, $40.
I say world.
Shut
Breath
up.
of the world.
Breath of the World. Hi, Link, beware. The October harvest moon is coming. Call back to
called
the
a
Breath
blood
of the Wild.
moon.
Whatever
It's
the
called a blood
fuck.
moon. It's called a blood moon, Chad.
Super Bomberman R. I played that actually with my niece and nephews.
Is that
That's
good?
fun. Yeah, $25. As
Not
well.
bad.
PS4 games. Bloodborne, $15.
Oh,
Horizon
get that.
Zero Dawn,
$15. It's a
$20.
steal. It's a
I
steal.
know.
$15.
I
Is that the
know.
complete edition or is that just the one on its own? Like the
It
original
doesn't
game on its
specify.
own? Doesn't specify? Well, anyway, either way, it's an amazing game.
Yeah.
But please buy that.
Last of Us Remastered for $10. $10.
Played it this week. Amazing game. You should buy that.
Nier Automata for $25. Persona 5 for $30. It's one of the Game of the Year nominees for the Game Awards.
I really want to play that. I've never played Persona before. I really want to play Persona 5.
That's a daunting one to jump into.
I know, but it just gets getting such good reviews. I want to get that.
Yep. Uncharted Lost Legacy for $20. That's half
Played
off.
that week.
We just talked about that.
Played that this week. It's also a good game.
Until Dawn, $15. Although if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you should already have that one for free too.
Yeah.
And then Gears of War 4, $15 for Xbox One. Halo 5 Guardians, $15. Red Dead Redemption, $10.
Great.
That's it, man. I just want to highlight a couple of things game related. I'm so freaking floored by how many brand new games are so.
Did you mention BioShock?
No, it's on the list. I didn't highlight that at all. But yeah, the BioShock collection's $15 at a lot of places as well. Mm-hmm. Or the Handsome collection for $15.
That was one that was very tempting for me because I've never played BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
And I'd like to.
You should.
That was
You should.
So if you were to pick one of those games off that list, what would you pick?
I already bought Wolfenstein 2.
Okay, so that's
I bought it
obviously
today
your
on
pick then.
PSN. Yep. And it's
Yeah, the ones
downloading
you-
on my PlayStation right now.
I guess I'm gonna face the question of the ones you have played and said like, hey, if you haven't played this one, but you should play, which one is it?
Oh, of the ones that I've played.
Like, what's
that
the best value there? Do you think?
Oh, see, those are all different questions, Holden. The one I
No.
think you could get the most.
They're pointing in the same direction. What's your recommendation?
Honestly, I'm gonna give you two answers.
I have two as well, so that's fair.
Okay, I'm gonna give you Horizon Zero Dawn for PlayStation 4, and Resident Evil 7.
Those are good choices.
If you, especially if you have a PlayStation VR.
Yeah, mine are both PlayStation as well. And if you haven't played Bloodborne, you got to pick Bloodborne. You got to get that. If you haven't played Last of Us, $10 is such a steal for one of the greatest games ever
Oh
made.
yeah. Did you see? There's an article today that somebody found a new enemy in Bloodborne that nobody had discovered yet.
Really?
3 years later. Yeah, apparently in one of
That's amazing. Like you're talking like a new boss, like just a new like grunt enemy.
Yeah, just a new enemy. It was like a flaming giant of some kind, or a giant with a fiery hand. Apparently, it was in like one of the gameplay demos or like show off things, teaser trailers. I don't know, whatever the fuck I forget what they call them, like behind closed doors demos at like E3 or something. And it was an enemy that people had played as there, but then no one just ever saw it in the real game, and they assumed, oh, I guess that's just an unused asset, and they cut that character.
No,
And
it's
then
there.
November 2017, 3 years later, somebody finds it in one of the Chalice dungeons. They're like, what?
That's hysterical.
That's so crazy. So I wonder how
Probably
many
because no one played the Chalice dungeons.
Are you kidding me? I played the shit out of those Chalice dungeons. I have the platinum trophy in that game, man.
I could never find some of the components necessary to get into certain Chalice dungeons.
You get them from the other Chalice dungeons.
Gotcha.
You dumb bitch.
I'm a dumb bitch.
We don't fight on this podcast. That's why you just agreed you're a dumb bitch.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh, Black Friday deals. That was a lot more listing than I anticipated that to be in my head.
Yeah.
But lots of good shit.
I got bored. I'm not gonna lie, Chad. I got very bored.
Write
I
in. Let us
tuned
know
out.
what you picked up.
I'm kidding, Chad. Don't get mad at me. Don't hate me.
So 2 things you need to write in so far. 1, Xbox checkbox. Tweet at SplitScreenGP. Or email SplitScreenGamingPodcast@gmail.com. Or the Facebook group. However the fuck you want to contact me. Contact me. Use a hashtag Xbox checkbox. And then, tell us what games you picked up this week. Holden, what else you
I have a
got?
request. I have a request for you,
Okay.
actually. I want to see Sunset Overdrive. I want to see what that's like.
You're going to put that on my Xbox checkbox?
I'm putting that on your Xbox checkbox.
I'm going to make a note right now called Xbox checkbox, and I'm putting that on there. Xbox checkbox.
Also
Boom.
because they're making the Spider-Man game, Insomniac. It'd be cool to see how Sunset Overdrive inspired Spider-Man.
Sunset Overdrive. Also $7.50 on Microsoft Marketplace for the Black Friday deal. So I'm, of course, going to jump on that.
You should.
Also, Xbox Game Pass is like $1 for the first month if I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
I'm so
and
pumped.
Gears of War 4 was just added to it.
I know, your mom.
She agrees. So we have another new segment this week.
New segment? Oh my god! We're evolving. We just became a Raichu.
This is a revolutionary episode of SplitScreen Gaming Podcast. 2 new segments.
Our most ambitious episode to date. You remember when
It
you
is
tried to
actually
do that
the
at the
most
beginning of every
ambitious episode
episode?
Yeah, we wanted to, and we just never happened.
Did it for like 2 episodes. This is our most ambitious episode to date.
We're bringing this episode to the next level.
Oh my god.
The idea was we were going to mock the developers who get on stage during E3, be like, this is our most ambitious project we've ever worked on.
Well, good.
Every
I hope you
single
don't go
time.
backwards.
We went small scale for this game. Really went back to our roots. Actually, do hear that. We went back to our roots.
Yep. World War II.
We have a new segment. I'm very excited about this. We can't play every game. Can you play every game, Chad? I can't play every game.
Yeah, I can.
You can?
But I also want to like work my job and pay rent.
Oh,
and
that's a
things.
good point.
But
Yeah,
I can.
Yeah. So I still want to talk about most games that come out. So I want to do a review roundup every week, which is kind of like, here are the games that came out this week. Here's how they're being talked about. So
talk me through the process of how do you gather these reviews? Do you go to Metacritic? Do you gather?
Yeah, I go to Metacritic generally, and then just kind of looking through the reviews and seeing what was the highest review, what was the lowest review, and kind of what are the criticisms or the positive things people are saying about the games. And so we have
this week.
We have a few games. So we're going to have Star Wars Battlefront 2, which will be the last one because it's going to feed right into our segment after this.
I thought the news stories was going to feed into our segment. We have too many things that are feeding.
I know, you have 2 things that are feeding. It's just feeding. It's a mess. We got LA Noire. We got Skyrim coming out on the Switch. And then we have Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It's actually a pretty big week to do the segment.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about LA Noire.
Let's start with LA Noire because it's actually probably the least interesting out of all of these.
Tell us how you feel.
It's not how I feel. It's how the world feels, Chad.
Oh, you're right.
It got a 78 on Metacritic. So it's not...
That's actually pretty good, right?
It's pretty good, yeah. And that's for the... They didn't seem to have a distinction between the Switch version and the PS4 and Xbox One versions.
Is that higher than the original LA Noire got?
I think it's the same, honestly. I think it's about the same.
Well, you keep talking. I'll look it up, yeah.
Yeah. So basically the biggest thing that people are saying is that the motion scan has aged very, very well. The motion scan system essentially was what Rockstar did was they recorded all these actors' faces and got all the data to make very, very realistic facial animations because you're interrogating these people and you want to see if they're lying or not. You're playing as a cop interrogating people. So that has aged really well, apparently. Even though the rest of the graphics haven't really aged quite as well, they still think that the facial animations are still at a very high caliber, even by today's standards. Which, kind of looking at some of the footage, it really does look pretty good still.
The original LA Noire got an 89, by the way.
89. Oh, okay, so this is less. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, 78 is not terrible.
No.
On all 3 systems, apparently, it is worth it. Like, there's not really one system where it's like, it doesn't run very well. It runs pretty well on all of them. That said, on the Switch version, it doesn't have the higher resolution textures. It's not in 1080p that you get on the PS4 or the Xbox One. And there is a difference in docked versus undocked mode on the Switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like when you're in undocked mode, in handheld mode, the draw distances aren't as good. It can get a little choppier. The textures don't come in quite as clearly. But when you're in docked mode, it's fine. So
20% of the people who play their Switch on the docked mode will be just fine with this game.
Yes. Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Ooh.
Got an 87 on Metacritic.
That's kind of low for Pokemon, isn't it?
Compared to other Pokemon games, I'm not sure. Look that one up for me, Chad.
I will look that one up.
Specifically, I want to see compared to Sun and Moon. I'm just going to keep asking
you questions that you don't know about.
The highest review score on this was from Nintendo Life. They gave it 100 out of 100. And then the lowest score on Metacritic is from the Daily Dot, and they gave it a 70. The overall consensus I'm seeing is that it's a really good Pokemon game.
Yeah.
But I think some people thought this was going to be like Pokemon Black 2 or White 2, where it was a sequel to Black and White. This is more like Crystal or Emerald, a refined version of the same game, but they're releasing 2 different versions because money.
And there are some new features like the ability to go back in portals to other locations and grab legendary Pokemon.
Like Platinum did that. So they had Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and Platinum kind of did the same thing. There's like a new dimension you can go into. So it sounds like it's just kind of more like refinement. One notable thing that was interesting to me is that they sped up the beginning of the game. So you're getting your starter Pokemon faster. You're getting into things a lot faster, which I went to replay that after I got Gold and Silver on my 3DS, and it is like Sun and Moon are slow to start. It took a while before I even got my starter Pokemon. It took a while before I even got out of my house. Like the opening, talking to your mom stuff took forever. So that's kind of cool. But honestly, like this just makes me not want to buy this game.
By the way, I looked up the scores, and that's actually high for Pokemon. Most Pokemon are
really
in the low 80s.
That's interesting because seems like it's just a rehash of the last one.
It's the exact same score Pokemon Sun and Moon got.
Oh, is it really?
Yep.
That's funny because it's supposed to be better in every way, but the story is also apparently largely identical, minus a group of characters that kind of come in and interject, and then like about 75% through the game, once you make it to the 4th island, then there's like, oh, this is totally different now.
I think I made it to the 2nd island, and I think that's where I stopped.
It's worth playing. It's a good game. Yeah.
Cool. What's next?
After that, we got Skyrim. Let me go back to my note.
Skyrim!
So Skyrim got an 84 on Metacritic.
And that's out just for Switch, right? Does that include the VR?
Yeah, this is just the Switch version. This isn't the VR version. This is the Switch version of the game. And it is the whole version of Skyrim. Like, all the DLC, all that is there. The only thing that's really missing is the mod support.
Oh, yeah.
Which every reviewer has kind of said, well, this can be forgiven because there's so much content in the game, you'll never run out of things to do still.
Why do you need mod support when you've got Link's shield and sword?
That's the only mod a Nintendo person would probably add to their game anyway. They do say that stuff is kind of cool, and what's interesting about that gear, the Zelda, so you have the Champion's Tunic you get in Breath of the Wild, as well as the Hylian Shield and the Master Sword. They are able to scale higher than most weapons in Skyrim typically would, so you can use them for longer. Because someone who has those items probably wants to use them for a long time.
Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is that this is not the original version of the game. It is not the original version scaled up. It is the special edition slightly scaled down.
Yeah, I saw some graphics comparisons between it and the remaster and the original.
Yeah. So it's really missing all the lighting effects and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it is the improved version of the game, which is very, very cool. Apparently, it runs at a really solid 30 frames per second, even in undocked modes when you're in handheld.
Good.
So for most of Switch players, they'll have a good experience with that. The only wonky thing that's like a new addition is the motion controls. Apparently, they work well if you're using like a bow or a ranged weapon of some kind, or similarly to Breath of the Wild. But if you're using it for melee weapons, apparently it's kind of a mess.
Oh. Yeah. Melee and waggle is weird.
It is. Skyward Sword was the weakest of the Zelda games for that very reason. Not good.
No.
And then I wrote so much in the Star Wars Battlefront 2. So what do you think? Do you want to hold this off until we talk about the game itself? Yeah, because we're going to talk about it later on.
Let's jump into some news stories real quick. News. That's our news jingle. So many new things this week, right? News jingles. Who knew?
Most of these news stories are related to Star Wars Battlefront. But...
I know, right? That's it. What's so weird is that there's so many things since last week. It seemed like every single day there was a new, Battlefield 2 fucked up this way. But let's try to avoid this for now.
Yeah, let's avoid that for right now, then we'll come back into that. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where we left off on Battlefront 2
I was just going to say that.
By looking at my stories and saying, all right, which one of these is the oldest story?
Yeah. So I'll jump into it first right now. So GameStop a little while ago unveiled their Games Unlimited, where you could pay $60 and then you could basically just check out any used game you wanted, and after the 6-month period you could just keep one of the used games, and it was like, this is awesome, and they got rid of it. It hadn't even started yet and the program's already over.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Apparently it did start up for like some test market.
It's been being tested for a while, but the global launch. Yeah.
People who were part of it,
US
they got refunded, and then they could actually keep a game.
Yeah.
If you
So
were
they
already
did
part
well
of the
by
program.
by the people who bought into it, but it's still kind of ridiculous. Like, what could have possibly happened in the background?
I saw some rumors saying that it was like the computer systems of the store that didn't know how to handle the rental process like that. So they kind of shut it down until they can update those.
That's ridiculous. That's something they should have figured out well before 3 days before the launch of the system. Like,
Yeah, I mean, good for them though for having the balls to be like, you know what? Yeah, we announced this great new thing, but we're gonna cut it for now. We'll come back to it later.
it sounds like they're gonna bring it back once they figure it out. So look forward to that. Hopefully, I have a suspicion they're gonna bring it back, and it can only be used if you're already a power up player, whatever they call their system.
Yeah, power rewards, I think.
Power up rewards. Yeah, I have no idea. We'll see. Do you want to go?
Well, my only news stories that aren't Star Wars are that one and Animal Crossing release date. So you keep going until we get to Star Wars.
I got some news stories, yeah. So we have... okay, so Hitman is going to have elusive targets coming back. Do you know what the elusive targets are?
Yeah, Gary Busey.
Gary Busey was one of them, yeah. So
Yep.
elusive targets is a really cool concept. It is... When you're playing Hitman, the whole game is you're trying to kill a target.
Oh my god,
But
I get it. Hitman.
You get
killing
it? It makes sense
people,
now? Yeah. In elusive targets, you have one chance. So, like, between this
You got
day
one
and this
shot,
day...
one
you go-
opportunity. Do not miss your chance. Whatever. This
and
opportunity
that
comes
song
once in a
plays
lifetime.
the whole time.
And Gary
yeah,
Busey
so
has
they're-
a tub of mom's spaghetti.
They're bringing that mode back temporarily, which is awesome. I can't wait, because that was probably one of the more fun things in Hitman. There was a sense of urgency and caution. They kind of played well in that. It
Are
was
they
fun.
bringing back the elusive targets, like themselves? Like, can
No,
you
they're
kill
new
Gary
ones.
Busey again? Okay.
Yeah, they're new ones. Yeah, they're new ones. And we have... I thought that was interesting. There are two video game movie related stories this week.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you actually didn't have the story for one of these, because one of these is pretty surprising.
Star
one
Wars
of them,
is on the mind. That's it.
That's true. That's true. The first one is the first trailer for Rampage. Do you see the trailer for Rampage?
Oh my god, yeah.
If that doesn't look like one of the worst video game movies coming out, it looks pretty terrible.
So bad. And Dwayne The Rock is like, you guys, we fucked up with Doom, but we're gonna make this one right.
Did he say that?
Yep.
Oh my god! So first of all, this is probably just a generational thing. I've never heard of Rampage before.
You never heard of it? I've
never
never played
even
it, but
heard
I've
of it.
definitely heard of it.
I've never heard of it before. And I would say I know a lot about video games at this point. If I haven't heard of it, I bet a lot of people haven't heard of Rampage before.
Your mom.
To me, this just looked like a monster movie with a giant gorilla and a crocodile in the river of a city, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson yelling "George" really loud from a helicopter. It looks terrible. It looks
Dwayne
really
shut
stupid.
down this city so much for that filming.
Is it filmed in Chicago?
Yeah, it's Chicago. You
Oh,
didn't
that's
recognize it?
No,
You idiot.
I'm stupid. I wasn't looking at that closely. I was too busy rolling my eyes. I was looking at the ceiling while I was watching the trailer.
Nice,
That's my excuse.
nice.
The other one is a rumor coming from the Wall Street Journal, which gives it some credence, I would say.
The WSJ.
Or
Or the WS Yay, as some
Guess
say.
what gaming IP, the Illumination Studios, the creators
Mario!
of Mario.
I forgot about this story, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently there's going to be a Mario movie from the guys who made the Minions movie, who made Despicable Me, who made Sing. I'm worried. I just think that doesn't sound so great. I didn't hate Despicable
Yeah.
Me. I liked the first one. I just don't want those... I don't want Mario to be touched, like Zelda to be touched by like anyone else that's like for a movie.
no.
I don't know.
It's going to be a
I'm
kids
worried.
movie.
It's me a kids movie. Yeah,
And
I
these
don't know. I'm
movies
worried.
fucking nailed it with kids. Mm-hmm. Minions are the most popular thing in America ever in the world, so...
Yeah. I'm worried, but who knows?
Yeah.
I'm probably still gonna go see it.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
That's me. Yeah.
I'd go see the original Super Mario Bros. Movie if it were in theaters again.
I did watch a few clips.
It's bad, but
I
it's
watched a few
fun and
clips.
Stupid.
And I'm like, this is unrecognizable as Mario. Like there was a scene where they went to this nightclub or something like that, and Mario is hitting on this woman. I'm like, Jesus.
Yep.
Like this is not even remotely close to what Mario should be. I need to watch it in its entirety just as like a masochist side, like just to
Yeah.
hate myself. Basically, I'll watch
I
it.
love how the Goombas are like these enormous, like in the game they're these little tiny things, but in the
Yeah.
movie they're the enormous things, And the guy with the harmonica in front of. Oh man, I'm gonna watch that movie again.
I got 2 stories left that aren't related to Battlefront 2.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I had 3 stories actually. This is kind of related to Battlefront 2, but not really. So, amongst all this issues with microtransactions, all that fun stuff from EA that we talked about last week, and we'll talk about more later on, CD Projekt Red was in a like some sort of financial meeting of some kind, talking to investors, and they said that they're using the game Gwent to look at how to offer games as a service and kind of how that looks like from their end. And people started going crazy, getting really upset that apparently they're worried that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be a game as a service, and it has everyone totally worried. And
for anyone who doesn't know, CD Projekt Red made The Witcher 3.
Yeah, they made The Witcher 3. And they basically came out and they literally used the term bullshit. That is bullshit. We're not doing that. Yeah. Like, it is going to be just like The Witcher, a massive single player game. And they
Will
said
you read
something.
The quote they said?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find it actually. I had it and I don't have it right now for some reason.
Fine. I'll bring it up. I've got it.
Do you have it? I think I have it.
Well, we can both read it in tandem.
No, let's not do that.
Okay.
The ending of the quote, at least, is you get what you pay for, no bullshit, just honest gaming, like with Wild Hunt. We leave greed to the others.
Shots fired, Cyberpunk 27.
Yeah, that was pretty
developers.
Awesome. No catch, you get what you pay for. That's awesome. That was really fantastic.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that they won't make a game in the future that's game as a service, as they said they're looking into it, but Cyberpunk 2077 is not. And just because it's game as a service doesn't mean you're being predatory towards your customers.
Exactly. I think what's biggest, and we'll definitely, this is kind of a nice segue, it's all about transparency, and I feel like CD Projekt Red is perfect with that. So they're like, hey, no bullshit, this is what's happening in our game.
Yeah. What company says that's bullshit?
Yep.
Like, that's not like us putting the words in the mouth. They said the word bullshit. That's just...
Well, technically, according to the quote, they said bull s blank blank blank.
No, in the actual tweet, they do say bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're allowed to tweet bullshit?
Yeah, you can curse on... You can say really terrible things on Twitter.
I know, just ask our president.
We're not political on this podcast, but I agree with you. All right, so this is a cool story. I actually just found this one today. Splatoon 2 is getting a huge update.
Tell me. Oh, I saw this update, or I saw this headline, but I don't care about Splatoon 2, so tell me about it.
It's pretty big. So there's going to be tons of new like gear and weapons, that kind of stuff. That's all fun in games. 4 new stages and a whole new game mode called Clam Blitz.
Tell me about Clam Blitz. I hope there's more wieners, because I think I remember us deciding that everything in Splatoon 2 is a wiener.
I don't remember that, but I can tell you
you're talking about the fish with the big wieners on their heads and you're squirting sperm everywhere. We've talked about this.
I'm sure we've talked about this, yeah. So there was only a little video that showed the Clam Blitz, but basically it looked like you are collecting these little clamshells all over the place, and they follow behind you, like in a line of clamshells. And then you use those clamshells to hit something in your opponent's end of the map, it looks like. So I'm not quite sure what the gameplay looks like. They're kind of teasing it for right now. But it looks pretty cool.
Great.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I like Splatoon 2.
I hope that's on a kiosk at Best Buy, because then I'll play it.
No, actually, I would say Splatoon 2 is probably one of my favorite games this year. I really like that game a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love that game. It's
Good
really,
for that
really fun.
game, man.
I'm getting that game for my brother for Christmas so I can play it online with him, because I really want to play that online with him. It's going to be really fun. Just realized there's actually another news story I did not write down.
Oh my
but this
God.
is actually a pretty big news story, actually.
Tell me.
So I told you about the guys Easy Allies, right?
Yes.
You should listen to their podcast, by the way. It's a really good podcast.
You can tell me that as many times as you like, but I'm not going to do it on principle, just because you told me to.
So one of the guys on the podcast, Damiani or something like that, he has pretty good industry connections. He's been right about a lot of things, just from what I've been listening to this year.
I want somebody to have that as a descriptor for me. Chad Ennis, he's been right about a lot of things.
I mean, like, about predictions and saying, like, hey, someone in the industry told me X, and then X ends up happening, like, a week later.
Yeah.
Well, he says that Pokemon on Switch, originally, they were planning on just making it a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Because they sell really well, why shake up the formula? They've also been afraid to change the formula because it's such a huge franchise. If you mess it up, that can be really detrimental. Also, their main source of revenue is that game. Actually, it's probably their only source of revenue, really. So they got inspired by Breath of the Wild, not necessarily in the gameplay mechanics and all that, but just kind of like, oh, so here's a franchise that really shook things up a lot, changed the game for their franchise, and it was really successful and very well received and sold tons and tons of copies. Maybe a Pokemon game that changes up the battle system to make it different than it's been before would be really huge.
And instead of 8 gym leaders, you just now do 4 lifeless husks of a robot.
That sounds wonderful. I can't wait.
I mean, it's Breath of the Wild right there for you. So,
Breath of the Wild was not lifeless. The game was magical.
We're talking about Pokemon. Shut up. Get back on topic.
No, so that's the story basically, is that apparently they're looking to really shake things up with the Pokemon franchise with the Switch version, which has kind of been the trend on Switch thus far.
Yeah.
I mean, Zelda shook things up. Mario has shaken things up.
Mario Kart 2 items.
Actually, that
that was a big deal for you.
It was a big deal for me, and I still think it's a big deal. It changed my strategy a lot.
Yep. So that's exciting. I'll absolutely get that. I'm casual enough. I still play Pokemon Go every day because that's crack cocaine, and I'm a casual enough Pokemon fan of the games.
Here's how I know you're addicted to Pokemon Go. You said so many times, I'm going to stop playing it.
I can quit whenever I want, I promise. Okay, I'm not addicted. I've only spent probably about $100 on it. Shut up.
So yeah, I think that's exciting news. I would definitely buy it too. Like, I'm not going to buy Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon because I feel like, from what I'm hearing, it's largely the same thing. But if like a new Pokemon game came out, absolutely, I would get that. But what dichotomy can they use for the next naming scheme?
Milk and almond milk.
That would
or
be
milk and chocolate milk.
Pokemon almond and cashew.
Pokemon vegan and carnivore. And in one game, you can only find like Charizards or things that eat meat.
Or they'll take like the Android route, and they'll, like how Android did Kit Kat and had like a brand behind it. They'll do like Pokemon, Pepsi, and Coke. That'd be really funny.
There you go.
So that's all the news I got that's not related to Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I have one more. But this ties into Star Wars and brings us right there.
Okay.
This is definitely just a story of EA saying, hey, we need some good press about ourselves out there right now amongst all this crap. EA's untitled new action game has features no one's ever seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And here's how I know that it's just a story they want to get out there because of all this bad shit in the news around them. The game's probably not coming out until 2021.
Yep.
So let's start talking about it now.
Somebody, please, get us some good press.
It's coming from EA Motive.
Which is the makers of the single-player campaign of Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Which did not get great reviews, as we'll get into.
Yeah.
So
I found where we left off.
Oh, where we leave off?
So we left off with the saga of Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you, for some reason, only get your news from us, stop it. Educate yourself. Just listen to this podcast for our opinions on the news. But we left off last time with the spreadsheet that said, hey, it takes like $21,000 or some insane amount of hours to unlock everything.
Mm-hmm. $21,000? Is that legit?
Sorry, no, $2,100.
Okay, that's still a lot.
Yeah, still a lot.
That's like buying every game console, a good gaming PC, most of the games that came out that year.
Yep. Since then, I just want to do a quick rundown of the highlights of what fucked up every single day. Since then, there was a headline, EA to reduce Star Wars Battlefront 2 hero costs by 75%. So instead of costing $60,000 or 60,000 credits to unlock Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker, it now costs what was it, 15,000 or
15,000? Yeah. And by the way, it also now takes you longer to earn the same amount of credits you would have gotten before these reductions.
Right. So when you normally would earn 20,000 at the end of the campaign, you now earn 5,000.
Yeah. So they cut everything down by 75%, basically.
Not everything, but like a lot of the big progression items. Yeah.
But the fact that they could bring it down by that much only speaks to how much they wanted to rip people off.
Yeah. It's kind of gross.
Very gross.
Next, there was an assurement from the developers saying Star Wars Battlefront 2 won't favor players who purchase loot boxes. They're like, oh, don't worry. Our matchmaking system will make sure that we match you up with based on items in your inventory and the number of hours you've played, as well as your skill level and things like that. So don't worry. Even if somebody pays a lot of money to unlock these heroes, if they've only played for 2 hours, but you've played for 40, don't worry. We won't match them up with you. It's like, oh,
that
bullshit.
Sounds like complete horseshit.
Yep. That was article number 2. Next. All right, we admit we have a problem. Star Wars Battlefront 2 dev vows to fix, quote-unquote, progression system issues.
That came out in the AMA they had on Reddit, right?
I believe I'm actually reading these headlines from IGN. But they're like, yeah, we get it. We're going to fix these progression issues. We got it. And for those of you for some reason don't know, everything is tied to random loot boxes to power up your characters.
Let's explain that system just for people who don't
Yeah.
know.
So you have these different classes you can play as, different characters you can play as, but in order to power them up, it's not as simple as, oh, I'm going to play this class more or this character more, and then suddenly they get stronger. No.
Yeah, so you feel like being a sniper, you can't just play as a sniper and become a better sniper.
Exactly.
It doesn't work that way.
Earn credits at the end of missions and things like that and matches, and then you use those credits to buy loot boxes, which unlock star cards, which are random and might give you a bunch of buffs for a character you don't even have yet, or a bunch of buffs for a character you hate or don't want to play
But when you get that character, they'll be so much better.
Yeah, but you hate that character. So that's kind of one of the big fuck yous is, oh, however you want to play, we don't care. We're just going to randomize your rewards.
Yeah, you can also get the same thing over and over again. And also the loot boxes just cost so much, even still, which will, even though they've dropped the microtransactions, we'll get to that. It takes... You get 400 credits per match.
Yeah, on average between 150 to 400.
Yeah. So 400 on the high end. It's 4,000 credits to open up another loot box.
I know.
Like, that's stupid. Crazy. If each match is like around like 10 minutes, we'll say, that's almost 2 hours before you can buy a loot box and progress at all. Maybe?
But don't worry, you can buy one. So...
Not anymore. Temporarily.
They vow to fix their progression issues. And then finally, I think this was the day before the game came out, in an unprecedented move, they stripped microtransactions completely. And in a quote on Kotaku here, we hear you loud and clear, so we're turning off all in-game purchases, wrote Oscar Gabrielson, GM of Battlefront 2 developer DICE, in a blog post this evening. We will now spend more time listening, adjusting, balancing, and tuning. This means that the option to purchase crystals in the game is now offline, and all progressions will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date, only after we've made changes to the game. We'll share more details as we work through this. So crystals are what you can buy with real-life money in order to progress and get more loot boxes without having to play.
So you have credits and you have crystals. You have 2 different types of currency in the game.
Yep.
Fun.
That's fucking incredible that it went so far that they completely stripped all purchasing with real money. Their loot boxes still exist in the game. That's still your progression system, but you can't now pay money in order to get them.
Mm-hmm. So it would be really great if all this happened because people were outraged and having the refunds and that kind of stuff. Apparently, from rumor, there's no press release about this, but apparently that's not what happened. Apparently, Disney went to EA and basically said, we can't have this. Star Wars is coming out next month. This ain't happening. Fix this. So it wasn't because EA just we let down our fans.
I'm sure that our fans had some play in this.
Well, yeah, by yelling and screaming, justly. I'm not trying to say you're whining babies or something like that. Everyone was justified in complaining about this.
Yeah,
but it was that outrage, the yelling and the screaming about it that led to bad press, that led to Disney going to EA.
Yep.
So, and it wasn't, and they're shutting them down temporarily. So they're gonna bring it back. I mean, their terminology is don't worry, guys, you'll be able to pay for stuff pretty soon. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Once The Last Jedi comes out and does well at the box office, this will all be fixed. Don't worry.
Once all these parents buy this game for their kids at Christmas, we'll turn it right back on right as Christmas hits so everyone can spend money again.
So yeah, it's all... I don't know, would you consider this a win for gamers?
I do. I feel like this year has been slowly pushing the point of how far can we go and charge people, how gross can we get before they revolt. And it started with things like NBA 2K18 with paying money for change your haircut in the game.
Yeah.
And then it went to Shadow of War, and it's like, well, we have this really long campaign, but if you don't want to grind through all of it, you can pay to unlock extra orcs and things like that. And we're like, oh, that sounds kind of gross. Are you padding your game? And then we get to this where it is pretty much straight up pay to win or pay to get the most powerful characters.
Yeah.
And the gaming community finally had enough, and they revolted. And some of it was super uncalled for. Like, death threats are never okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say is that it's like this is a stupid situation. EA is treating us horribly. It's never okay to do death threats. And also they're targeted, not that you should send a death threat out, but they're targeted in the wrong direction. The death threats are going to the developers of the game, who are not at fault at all in this, I don't
know at all.
No, I would say that. I don't think it's the developers' fault. I think this is an EA business decision, and they based it on the developers. This is how you're making the game. And the developer said, like, DICE is like, we got to do what EA says. They're the ones who have the budget behind our game. They're financing all of it. Like, they didn't really have a say to say, no, I don't know, this doesn't sound right, you guys.
I feel like that's a little unfair on EA's point. I mean, yeah, EA, I'm sure, is all about like, yeah, let's find ways that we can get the most money out of these people because obviously, yeah, they're business. But while they may say you need microtransactions in your game, we need to have a way to continue charging these people as they play. It's ultimately up to the developer as to, all right, what systems are we going to put in the game? How are we going to encourage that?
The progression system is what's on the developer's fault. Absolutely,
right.
Yeah.
And that is part of what's so gross about this is that the progression system itself is gross, and then you have to pay money in order to get more random things to unlock any shit.
But I think, I mean, this thing we'll probably find out in a few years, like what the inner workings of the situation is. Developers
I'm sure we'll see a Jason Schreier article on it on Kotaku going in depth with it.
But I don't know, I see this and it just seems like it was all a business decision, and developers could have said like, hey, we really want to make the microtransactions, we're going to make it for clothing and stuff like that. And EA was like, no, like, it needs to be tied to something that's going to incentivize more.
Right.
Like, they could have just been giving vague hints like that, and then the developers decided, hey, yeah, all right, we'll tie it to the progression system of the game. That will be a heavy incentivizer to put money down because you have to. But ultimately, I really just feel like this is an EA decision. So, like, I was looking into this, and Andrew Wilson is the CEO of EA. He came from EA Sports, and I saw an interview with him in 2012. I can't remember who it was from, but he basically said, this is when he was head of EA Sports and not the CEO of EA, he was talking about how it is adamant that we put in, games as services as a model, because our customers want new experiences every single day. We need to offer that to them. So how are we going to do that? We're going to have to create payment models, basically, that allow a constant, funnel of money coming in.
Yeah.
He's now the head of EA. So that mentality is coming from the top and down.
Yep.
So I really feel like, and not that he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a businessman.
Yeah, he's a little more business-minded rather than player-minded.
Yeah.
But we hit a wall, and we said, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And finally they said, all right, cool, we got to rework this. I'm sure something else. First it was online passes, and those got gross. We said too much. They took that away. Then came season passes, and then those slowly are now turning into microtransactions and loot boxes, and now pay to win. We're like, nope. So I'm sure they'll quote-unquote fix this system and then start developing, okay, cool, what's the next thing we can start pushing a little bit at a time until
but I mean, that's how this works. And I think that's why this is a win for gamers, because like the company's going to say, okay, we made money this way, how can we make more money? Because that's what companies are supposed to do. They're supposed to find ways to make more money. Can't fault them for that. They went really, like, instead of kind of pushing, they shoved.
Yeah.
And then we shoved back, and we are hopefully going to find a fairer middle ground there. But I think, like, the lesson from this for me is, I think the takeaway is that microtransactions aren't bad.
No.
I don't think that they're bad. I just think it depends on how they get handled. Like, I'm liking how they're getting handled in Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, because I don't feel like I have to use them to enjoy the game. If I want to just play Animal Crossing for a few minutes every day, I'm not forced to do that to still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Whereas Battlefront, like if I want to play that game and have fun, I have to buy loot boxes because someone else is going to have better equipment than me, and I'm going to go into a match even if I'm a really skilled first-person shooter fan, and I'm going to get killed because I don't have the perk that gives my gun more damage or something like that. So it's just kind of unfair. Or even some extreme examples. I thought this was ridiculous, so thank God they changed this and gave all the heroes out for free. Let's say that you spent so much time getting Luke Skywalker because that's the guy you wanted. It took you forever to get it. You couldn't get any other benefits for anything else in the game because those credits were only spent on Luke Skywalker because that's how long it takes to get him.
Yep.
Even at the 10 hours that it is now. You go to do a hero versus heroes match, right? If someone else is playing as Luke Skywalker, guess what? You can't play.
Yeah.
Because someone else is already playing as Luke Skywalker. Like that inhibits your ability to enjoy that game. I think that's kind of the line we found is if I have to pay money to enjoy the game, even after I've already put $60 down to get this game, that's a shame.
Yep.
Here's something else I'm noticing too is that this is actually something that I heard a lot when the Zelda DLC was announced, like a few days before the game came out. And everyone's like, oh, they're taking content out of the game to charge for it later. That's ridiculous. And everyone's like, no, that's not what's happening. Like, we're making all that stuff after we've released this game. And that's also been a big complaint about DLC in general was you're taking a chunk of the game out so you can sell it back.
Right. And
later
those
on.
stemmed
And people,
from when, like, you would just download a 500 kilobyte patch and it would unlock something on the disc.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's not cool either. If people are upset because it's like, oh, you made that content for this game, that's not included in the $60 price point of the game. Yeah. That's exactly what microtransactions are. Is we built this stuff within the scope of the $60 game's budget, and now we're charging extra for that stuff. Yeah. So it's kind of funny how that changed, and people were upset about that, and now it's like, yeah, it's $1, whatever.
There's a source that I wish I could remember the person, but I was listening to the guys on the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show talk about this issue, and they were citing a developer who this guy's job was integrating microtransactions into mobile games. Mm-hmm. And he said he believes the problem at EA is that when you're designing microtransactions, the reality of it is, especially on mobile, the reality of it is if 2% of people pay for microtransactions in your game, that is what they consider successful. Mm-hmm. The normal experience for your game is we're not going to pay any extra and we're not going to use microtransactions at all. That's the normal average gamer. So you need to build your game around that experience, and you can supplement it for those people who do want to spend a little extra, but be expecting that only 2 to 5% of people are going to actually bite on that. Yeah. EA developed this game, or EA published this game, and Motive and DICE developed this game and it feels like the assumption of, oh, everyone's going to pay $60 for this game, and we want 50% of these people to at least put some kind of money into that loot system. Yeah. And that's where they got super greedy and disgusting, and that's why
I think that's a good way of looking at it, because that 2% metric is a good thing to see there. Because I'm going to Animal Crossing again, because that's the most recent example I have of a mobile microtransaction experience. If I wanted to play that for like a few minutes every day, don't have to put any money down. But if I wanted to play that game for multiple hours every single day, and I'm super invested in that game, then you do have to put money down. But at that point, like, I'm enjoying it so much, obviously. Exactly.
I mean, these developers, they need to keep the game up and running. Yeah. This is not a game that, like Battlefront 2, there are servers they need to maintain. There's content they need to keep coming out with. Mm-hmm. So you've got to keep them going somehow. And if you're enjoying it that much and you want to put money into it so that other people can enjoy it for free, great. That's how it works on iOS. But it should not be the normal for you have to spend money on a $60 game after you've already bought it. Exactly.
And honestly, I think it'd be fine if there was a mobile game that you were paying for to play and enjoy because it's already free. Like, I'm kind of like, this is a slightly different experience, but like Mario, like Super Mario Run, like, the game's free to start, and then if you want to really get into it and play it, you got to put the $10 down. Yep. I'm fine with that because I had the opportunity to test it and see if I liked it. I didn't put any money down initially. A $60 game should just not have that experience. Yeah. Hands down. And I wish I could say EA is going to learn their lesson from this, but I really don't think that they have.
I think what they'll learn from this is a PR lesson.
A PR lesson.
Yep.
Because if you remember, so I was kind of going through watching some videos online about this, and I came across a guy giving a rant about Star Wars Battlefront, the first one.
Yeah.
That came out, and the big rant there was, there was so much content locked behind the $50 season pass that it made not as enjoyable if you didn't put down the $50 for that. And do you know what their excuse was at the time? What their thing was? At least you don't have microtransactions.
Yep. And do you know what the first thing they said when they announced this game? At least there's not a season pass. All content's going to be free. Yep.
So, like, I think they're totally aware of their actions.
Yeah.
And they're really just trying to be slippery about it and kind of sly.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
So all of that is all the trash leading up to it. What are people saying about it, Holden?
The game? Oh, yeah. So it has a 70... has a 72 on Metacritic, so it's actually not getting bad reviews. But there are some awesome quotes from like the really bad.
Some of the big channels, like I saw IGN gave it a 6.5. And
yeah, 6.5.
gave it a 6.
Yeah, so it is getting overall. It's not doing so bad, but the major outlets, which I think are the ones that people are paying attention to, are pretty much trashing it. Which, like, 6 for a game like that is a horrible score.
Yeah.
Like, I really expected this game to be at least 8 or 9. Yeah, and then all this other stuff.
The license and the studio making it, this is something you expect to come out at like a 8, 8.5, 9. Yeah.
So the highest rating on Metacritic was a 91.
Ooh.
They gave it a 91, and I love this. They acknowledged the loot box controversy in the review. They acknowledged it. It's not like they ignored it. And they said that time to unlock stuff, and I wanted to hear your opinion on this because you have more experience with this than I do. Time to unlock stuff is not that much different than in Destiny 2. You've been playing Destiny 2 a lot. I'm going to guess no.
I mean, that's
not true.
That's completely different. It's a different system. Yeah.
Yeah. But they say the multiplayer is chaotic and fun, which of course it is. They say that the single player, it's really confusing how they worded this. They said it's got a weak single player campaign. The stealth doesn't work with the map design, but it's got good dialogue and a good story. And it's like the opposite of what I'm hearing from everybody else. The lowest score is from Slant Magazine. They gave it a 40. And it has my favorite quote about the game. It's a soulless pachinko machine with a gaping sarlacc-like maw of unadulterated greed. Which is awesome. They say that the game feels like it's mostly fan service and doesn't really have much to offer. Like there'll just be all these random cameos of like Luke Skywalker and all this stuff coming in that detract from the main story and the main character they were featuring in all their advertising and marketing. But one thing I'm hearing is kind of cool is, and I watched a few video clips and I can confirm this, the voice actors are really good. I was watching some clips from the game. I'm like, this is really good voice acting. Like, I've always kind of been like, oh, how do you really tell if it's good voice acting or not? It's good. Like, the acting was very believable, and the guys that they have doing Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Leia sound just like them.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's just like them. It's not really Mark Hamill. It's not really
I know it's not Ford. Them, which is kind of a letdown,
but it sounds just like them. It's crazy how good it sounds.
I've actually heard differently. I've heard other people be like, "Oh no, it's not Luke's voice," and it's totally weird listening to it.
It's close enough though that it for me at least, I'm like, oh, okay, that works, because I kind of always expect it to not really be.
Yeah. Well, apparently Lando's real. I can't remember his name in real life, but Lando Calrissian's the original actor.
I was just gonna say, you mean Donald Glover, but it's not Donald Glover.
Nope. That's the new Lando Calrissian.
That's the new Lando. So the other outlets. Sorry, going back to this again. The Slant goes on to the multiplayer, saying that the multiplayer maps felt way too big, and that there's not enough people in the maps, that you're kind of going a long distance before you kind of run into anyone, which can kind of make the multiplayer games a little bland and boring for them. But the smaller maps, and I can test this on the first Battlefront game, the smaller maps are chaotic and fun. I actually had the same complaint about the first one, but if it's a smaller map, it can be really, really fun. But I think this is an interesting complaint, pretty much getting this from everybody. The lack of microtransactions actually hurts the game, because now it takes so long to do anything that it's just arduous to progress in any way. Because now you have to just play the game to progress. They didn't change how the progression works. They just took away the microtransactions. So it actually hurts the progression system. IGN called it the worst progression system they've ever seen.
Yep.
So not some great stuff there.
Those are the two big things I've been hearing about it. Is the progression system obviously is abysmal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are let down by the single player campaign.
Yeah.
First of all, it's only about 4 hours long.
Yeah, so to be fair, though, there's a free DLC coming out next month that completes the story, apparently.
Isn't that stupid,
I don't know why they did that. Maybe something to do with Last Jedi, and they can't for, like, spoilers or something like that. I don't know. That's being fair. Or that's being, kind.
But it's like 4 hours, and you only play as the new character that the whole thing's supposed to be centered around for about half of it.
Yeah.
And then everything else is just, like, really quick spurts of other heroes. It's kind of like a sightseeing tour of Star Wars rather than a story that you want to actually participate in and continue with. So,
yeah,
I don't know. If I picked up this game after all of this controversy, it would be to play the single player. But now I'm definitely
I'm not going to either. That's a shame because I think that was the biggest letdown of the first game was not having any single player.
Yep,
and they made it up really.
That's why John Boyega was like, "Hey, where's my single player campaign?" And then they're like, "Oh shit! If the guy from the new Star Wars movie wants it, we got to put it in there." Quick, let's steal the studio right out from underneath Visceral Games and make them make it.
Anything more I want to add from here? I think I pretty much got it. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like if you went into it for the multiplayer is actually pretty good. Like, it's a fun experience.
That's what I've heard too, yeah.
Minus the fact that to improve it all is a mess. So if they didn't mess with the progression system, this probably would have been a worthwhile game to pick up. But nope.
Yeah, at least as good as the first one, because all the content you have in it just sucks that you can't power up well.
It's a shame too, because I think this franchise had so much potential to be great. Like, not just good, but great.
Yeah.
Did you play the first Battlefront games at all? Like the Battlefront 1 and 2 on PS2?
Yeah. No, I didn't play those. I played a little bit of Battlefront 1 from 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, because the original ones from like a decade ago were awesome. They're so cool. Loved those games. And when I heard DICE was making it,
I looked up the Metacritic for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I was like, oh man, the PC version's got a really good review. And I went and looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's the super old one from a decade ago.
That game was awesome. So what made it so cool is they had this thing called Galactic Conquest, which is one of the biggest demands people are making for in this game. Yeah. And that is that you have this galaxy map, and you have your star fleet, and you decide what planet they're going to go take over. And if you go to that planet, like Kashyyyk or whatever planet you're going to, you'll have a battle on that planet. Or you might come in contact with the enemy fleet and have like a space battle. Or like depending on where you met the fleet, so like they might have had a fleet over one of your planets, so then you have to defend your planet, and then you're going to send your fleet in to have a space battle over the planet, so you can see the planet you're fighting over while you're in the space battle. It was just, I'm not doing it justice by explaining it, but it was awesome. It was awesome. It was so cool. There's just a grand scale to it that I'm just not seeing in these, and that's what I was really hoping for. So it's a shame.
Well, I'm sure we'll hear much more about Battlefront 2 in the near future.
And there'll be another one.
Yep, there will be another one, because I'm sure it'll still make money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But that's all we have on that topic. You said you had a subscriber interrogative?
I do.
It says, I got one.
This is the first subscriber interrogative we've had in a long time. Thank you to Sam Spam.
Sam Spam?
Listener,
He's never leaving a question
Sam
again.
Spam wrote in with this question: are Goombas mushrooms?
Oh.
What are Goombas?
I don't know what a Goomba is, honestly.
Right?
Is it kind of like... Maybe what a Goomba is, it's like in Gremlins, you have the Mogwai, the really cute things. Those are the toads. And if you feed a toad after midnight, it turns into a Goomba.
That's so interesting.
I think that's what it is.
What is a Goomba? Because it looks like a mushroom, but there are also 4 different types of mushrooms. So many. There's one-up mushrooms, there's toads, there's the poison mushrooms, and then there's these weird-ass Goombas with just feet and a neck.
Well, maybe it's like a poisonous mushroom.
No, you've seen the poisonous mushrooms. Those are the purple ones.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a really good question.
What are Goombas?
It's like a walking chicken nugget. That's what it looks like.
Let's look it up. Wikipedia. Okay. Goombas, known in Japan as Koribo, are
it's a Karibo, of course.
Yeah, of course. Duh. There it is.
There we go. There's your answer, Sam.
Are a species of sentient mushrooms from Nintendo's Mario franchise.
Sentient mushrooms.
Sentient mushrooms.
That makes it sound like they're like this artificial intelligent race of robots that look like mushrooms.
That's so weird. Concept and creation. Show me that. Because if those are sentient mushrooms, what are toads? Because
to be fair, the Goombas came first.
Goombas were first introduced in the video game Super Mario Bros. And were the last enemy added to the game after playtesters stated that the Koopa Troopa was too tricky as an enemy. Koopa Troopas are, of course, turtles.
Yes.
As a result, the designers decided to introduce the Goomba as a basic enemy. However, they had very little space left in the game. They used a single image twice to convey the notion that the Goombas are walking, rotating it back and forth. The Goomba's resemblance to the Super Mushroom forced designers to change the mechanics and appearance of the Super Mushroom. Oh, interesting. They used the Goomba's ability to be jumped on and defeated to teach players how to deal with enemies and to not fear the Super Mushroom.
Very cool.
That's so interesting. So, like, there's one mushroom that's bad and it will kill you, and they're like, "Oh shit! How do we make people not afraid of the Super Mushroom?" And they want to go get that.
They're like, "It's chasing me. I have to run away from it."
That's so crazy.
That's awesome. I did not know that. That's all very cool.
Well, thank you, Sam Spam, for writing in and asking that question that enlightened all of us. We learned something today. All right, everyone, you have homework for this Thanksgiving week. 1, eat a bunch of turkey. And what did we decide about hookers?
Oh, yeah, if you don't have money for dinner because you're paying for a hooker, be thankful for it.
Yeah. And tweet us at SplitScreenGP or email us at SplitScreenGamingPodcast@gmail.com about the Xbox checkbox. What should I be playing? What do you want to hear me talk about on Xbox? Spoiler alert, third-party games I'm still going to do on PS4 because I got trophies. So, and then
you don't care about the gamer score.
You're a gamer score. I mean, I have like 1,600 gamer score right now. I think I played Gears of War 1.5.
That's like nothing. I think there are achievements that are 1,600.
I mean, getting an entire game worth of score, I think, is 1,000.
I thought it was 10,000.
No, I think it's 1,000. Like the equivalent of a platinum is 1,000 gamer score.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Because I actually got a lot of the achievements in Banjo-Kazooie on Xbox 360, which is why I have over 1,000 points.
Over 9,000?
But Banjo-Kazooie was glitched, so 2 of the jiggies I couldn't get. So
shame.
Couldn't get that quote-unquote platinum. So yeah, right in. Damn it, there was another piece of homework I had. Do you remember what it was?
Xbox
checkbox. Xbox checkbox and... All right, your next piece of homework. Oh, yeah. Tell us what games you got on Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, guys.
Fun.
Stick around. And by stick around, I mean look for the next episode very, very shortly about our Super Mario spoiler chat.
Yes.
And until then, we will see you guys. Have a happy holiday season.
And then next week, look forward to us discussing the Game Awards.
Oh, yeah. Game Awards, Super Metroid, your mom's butt.
We'll be talking about 2 of those 3 things.
It's up to you to decide which ones. Write in and tell us what you want to hear about. They're all going to say your mom's butt. I believe you. All right, bye until next week, y'all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.